Welcome to the Transform You Live show. Do not go anywhere. We're going to be talking about how fasting can be beneficial to your life. We're going to dive into it and give you some real important points about it. Do not go anywhere. I'm going to give you a special offer somewhere in the middle of this, too. You want to stay tuned in for this. It's going to be incredible. This is the only show where you can make real life and business transformation, harness the power, optimism, hope, and faith. So sit back, enjoy the intro video or sound if you're listening, and we'll be right back. Okay, as promised, we are right back to talk to you today about how there are benefits of fasting. I myself personally, I have done it. I do not give you anything that you cannot use. We don't do that here at the Transform You Live show. We are looking to ensure that you can transform into the next chapter of your life. If you're a business professional like myself, freelancer, if you're someone who's, I guess, on the rise in college somewhere, you may be someone who's a trucker and you want to get more energy. You might be concerned about the belly fat that you're starting to get as you tiptoe over the middle parts of 30, age 30, like myself. I'm starting to see my six packs disappear, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? All right. It could be you just want to just improve your diet. You want you want to get a handle over the uncontrolled eating, and you feel like maybe you've been overdoing it with the junk food. Maybe you want some focus. There's a way to get some focus too. There's a way to to just grow as a person spiritually and mentally. So let's talk about it. So first of all, I want to highlight that with fasting, that if it's just the food part you're focusing on, it's much more than that than just the food part. Okay, all right. Fasting in itself, what it does for you, it gives you an overall awareness of the generosity of life itself. Life and the universe, God, all that great stuff that we should be grateful for. And sometimes when we are stuffing ourselves with all the things that we enjoy and that we love and like, we can lose track of that. And we might end up becoming very depressed. We might become very anxious. And a lot of times it's because like we are loaded with like the things that we are just indulging in. And sometimes what you need to do is just give up one of those things for a while. Give up one. I'm not even asking you to give up everything. Some people take it to the extreme, and they will fast and they won't eat all the way up into evening time. I mean, there's different ways to fast though. Okay. As I drink my tea, I got an opportunity to fast just the other day, and I did it with food, and also did it in food with adjacent with social media. Okay, I found that social media was becoming very distracting, and I was starting to like indulge in a little bit too much. If I was starting to answer the Facebook Messenger a little bit too much, I was starting to like check the IG DMs too much, and it was just getting a little bit too much, and I was starting to lose focus. And I found my consistency rate in doing things that are very important, and being able to acknowledge the goodness of just the basic things of life. It was slumping. It was starting to slump. I was starting to crash on an all-time high. And that ultimately resulted in me feeling a bit depressed. And you may have been there yourself. You may have been someone who didn't even realize why you were just becoming depressed out of nowhere. Mental health, we got to make sure we being mindful of our mental health. We got to be make sure that like our spirit is getting the proper nourishment that we that it needs, and sometimes you just need to recalibrate. Sometimes you got to just reset yourself. So as I mentioned, you can just give up one thing for a while. It does not have to be everything. For me, I gave up two things. It was social media, and I stopped eating all the way up into the evening time, and that worked out pretty good. But I maintained at least drink and put some fluid in my system. I drank water, and I had some coffee. Okay, now this may not be for everybody, and I don't recommend pregnant women and children giving up food because it can be very hard for children and women, pregnant women, to do this. But there's other categories that I'm going to point you to today that maybe you didn't think about. So along with the foods, and I already brought up social media. There's gadgets. Maybe you spend a lot of time on video games. Maybe you spend a lot of time on who knows the laptop. And here I am. I got a laptop right in front of me, right? If you are watching, and those who are listening, I got my laptop in front of me because I'm using it to record. Maybe maybe you maybe you crank up the MP3 player. If do they even make MP3 players, by the way? Maybe you crank that up, the iPod, the iPad, the iPhone, and you crank up the music, and you find yourself just tuning out the rest of the world, or you have your other favorite gadget. Maybe you are a home improvement junkie, and you love like tooling around in the garage. So why not give this up for maybe a day? Like, and because I know there's some things you just can't do without for more than a day if you can't stand it. And in these cases, when these cases arrive, okay, and you arrive at something that you know you can give up, as a gadget, give it to someone else. You have someone that who can hold you accountable, as this will help you to fight the urge to uh, reach back and try to get it. Okay, you don't want to find yourself relapsing while you are fasting, and this is only for 24 hours. TV, TV is a huge one. Okay, now a lot of people are starting to consume content from the smartphone. So you might as well just add that right back in the category of TV. But if you are a TV head and you are Netflix head, you binge Netflix like crazy, or you binging Disney Plus or whatever you're watching, this would be the good time to put that in, or put that down as something you want to use for your fasting ritual for the next 24 hours, as this will give you time to step away from what the matrix is already trapping us into, and with the constant program, and these algorithms on YouTube, they're just not beneficial for us. Okay, they just not uh, made to give us the best of the best content. So that's why I suggest that you subscribe to me right now, subscribe to my channel right now on YouTube, the Transform You Live show, so that you can get the best of the best content that will help to drag you out of the matrix and to improve you mentally and spiritually. So it's always good to be indulging in some good content. And if you one of those people who just have to stay glued in front of something, maybe you have been viewing a lot of junk content. I was there. I got my guilty pleasure where I look into a lot of celebrity junk. content. There's a YouTube channel. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He has the Celebrity Junk, and he has new content just he puts in your face almost every other hour, and it's not the best of the best. It's not clean for you if you looking to live a more clean and conscious life. That's why I suggest every now and then step away from it. Take a 24-hour fast. If you can, take a week fast from the junk content, and replace it. Put something in place of that is that's going to fill your soul, and that's going to benefit your mental. That something that's going to provide clarity, and that's going to really help you get some deep insight into life and into yourself. Maybe you've been pushing back on the how to not be late to work, or late showing up to work with a client, or late on projects. Maybe there's some content out there that can help you to uh, give you tips and advice on that. All right. One channel that I suggest is the improvement pill. Improvement pill is very beneficial. He has a lot of good advice and wisdom on his channel. As I drink more tea. Now, activities. Who would have thought that giving up an activity would be considered fasting? But it is, buddy. It is. Okay. Maybe you spend a lot of time in the gym. How about taking yourself out of the gym for one day? See what that would do for you. Because maybe you have a huge aggressive problem. And me personally, I'm not judging. Sometimes the hitting the gym can heighten that aggression if you're not finding yourself getting any results from lowering the aggression that you have. So maybe you might need to take a step out of the gym for one day and then go back in. You'll find that you are getting some better results with like being able to manage your anger, that temper, that aggression that you may have a little bit more by not spending so much time in the gym. And I know this sounds kind of crazy saying this, and it might come off like, dude, is he encouraging us not to be healthy? No, I'm not encouraging. I'm talking to those who spend almost every day in the gym, like their life is gym, and and sometimes what we find out is when we are making a routine out of stuff, it becomes less beneficial when it is so routine and so rigid. And this is when we have to step away at least for about a day to recalibrate, reset, and then go back in so we can enjoy it a lot more. Okay. I mean, that's what fashion is all about. Being able to have an appreciation for these things that you love and that you enjoy a little bit more. Okay. And again, what does fasting entail is giving up something you need or something you enjoy, and at minimum 24 hours. For some people it may be a little bit hard to go 24 hours. Try a half a day and then work your way up to 24 hours. See how that goes for you. Okay. We see people do this with food, where they just and I had to do it. I had to do it like this, where I just do half a day for a couple of days, and then once I found myself a little bit more strong willed, I was able to fast for a whole 24 hours. Incredible, right? Mm-hmm. 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 Let's talk about the focus benefits. Okay, there's some incredible focus benefits, and I kind of been teasing the focus benefits concerning fasting, but these focus benefits is real incredible, and it's served me well. I tell you one quick little story about focus benefits, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I'll bring it back to real time and kind of expand it a little bit more. When I decided to consciously fast, I took the approach of giving up food. And I did this because, again, I noticed that I was becoming a little bit more depressed. I was becoming a little bit more stuck. Uh, I was having just some terrible writer's block. Okay, and I was working on a book that I was trying to finish, and I was close. It was finished, but the craziest thing is that I could not finish the about the author page, the dedication page, and the announcers page. This seems so simple, but I was very cluttered. Every time I sat down to do it, I, I would either push it off or I stare at the screen, and I just I just couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't find myself to enjoy it and want to do it. So I decided to fast. I decided to give up food for a few days. Yeah, and I didn't give up food completely. I just what I did was I adjusted my diet very very drastically. I decided to not eat breakfast and lunch. I replaced my breakfast and lunch with only just water, and then I would have like a very small snack uh, around lunchtime. Okay, it was very small. It was something like a Rice Krispie treat, or a rice cake or something like that, or a cracker or something. Something that would just like at least put a taste in my mouth. Other than just the water. And then around evening time, once evening time hit, a little bit after 5 o'clock, then I would have a small meal. I wouldn't go balling all out and having me a huge meal, but I did this for about a week, right? And boy, mm, mm, mm. let me tell you the benefits I got focus wise. My attention is at high levels. I, I was much aware during all of this. There's a scientific thing about why giving up food tends to work. Okay, the most, and why it heightens your attention when you starve yourself. Hey, I know it sounds crazy. Like I gotta starve myself. I literally gotta starve myself. Marcus, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, buddy? Well, yeah, when you trigger that primitive state inside of you, there's a scientific thing that says that, like, when you trigger that, what happens is it's very similar to what happens when you get ill and your appetite drops. What your body starts fighting off illnesses. It starts. It triggers like something within your immune system to make you work in overdrive, and then you become very heightened, like awareness wise, and you become you want to, but like in this case, you don't have any illness going on. But what if though? What if this was a good time to detox? What if this was a good time to, like, get rid of some of those toxins that's within your body, and that maybe they were lying dormant in there from all of that food that you've been ingesting into your system, and because of this, it's like you have kind of triggered and simulated a, an illness, where you have lost your appetite, and so now your body is fighting off these toxins that's been kind of sitting there, and maybe it was too comfortable before. Maybe you were too much in the comfortable state before, because you know what food does for you. It makes you happy. Every time you eat, it makes you happy. It's like it's very rewarding, and because we are not back in caveman times, and we don't have to hunt for our food like we used to. It's very easy. It's very accessible. So heading down to McDonald's is like is really like getting a smile. It's like buying a smile rather than than it is buying actual food, because there's no hunting involved. It's very easy. And then what do you do afterwards? You end up getting very lazy, and and you don't really want to do nothing because you're so stuffed. So when you're not stuffed, on the other hand, and when you don't have any food in your system, your body is like, okay, I got to find food. I got to do something. I got to do something to kind of like get my mind off of being hungry. I have to be aware. I have to stay attentive. I have to be ready to like protect myself from something that may eat me. So the perimeter state come on, and like science has proved this. And this is an incredible thing about fasting with food. Okay, which if you want to get some quick focus, it will do that for you. And you can get the same results with giving up other categories too. hmm 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 And during this time too, it's a great opportunity to check in with yourself. You can check in with yourself, along with heightening your attention, and that's what it allowed for me to do. I was able to check in with myself. I was able to have some deeper insight. Okay, and say to myself, okay, so what is it exactly that I need? What is it that is holding me back from completing this book completely? Why can't I do the author about the author page? Why can't I do the acknowledgement page? Why can't I do the dedication page? So I was able to have some insight, and I was able to kind of evaluate my life, and start looking at other reasons why I might have been having that blockage. And lo and behold, I started seeing it. It was my relationship with others, and my relationship with others was getting a lot too complacent, and there were a lot of boundaries being crossed. And so I was able to find some strength within just taking a step back away from food. I developed some strength, to like, I want to rely more on my faith to, um, to get through some of the things that I was concerned about. Okay, I was so anxious and concerned about not so much about completing the book, but there was other things that like I just wasn't addressing and being honest about. But once I did that, I was, immediately, my faith triggered. Immediately, like, being more optimistic, came on, and being more, having more hope came on, and it was pretty tough, also, to fight the urge to, like, relapse. I'm just gonna use the word relapse because it just seems like the most appropriate word right now. If it's a much better word, make sure you drop it in the comment section. Okay, uh, but instead of relapsing and breaking my fast earlier than what I wanted to, I use I use my brain. I use what I was feeling, um, to to call on other people who had strong faith, who were very optimistic people about life. And I was able to connect with them, uh, talk with them, pray with them. And I mean, it really increased my confidence. At the end of the day, I saw my confidence increase. And when you got high confidence, your focus automatically is triggered on. Your focus is on like that. You zoned in, you locked in, and you're able to complete the task that you need to complete. This is important. This is important. You need this. And again, I'm using food because food worked for me, but I'm not, like, if you can't do food for whatever reason, maybe you got some type of illness that doesn't allow you to give up food for X amount of hours or a day, or you got medication that you have to take with food in the morning. You can find other ways to fast. Okay, if food is not the thing, you can do it with drink. Maybe you can just replace that soda, replace something else that, like, that has flavor in it, with just water for that full 24 hours. Go for a week. Because that's a lot more easier. Some people say, well, I can't go with soda. Well, you may want to try it. You may want to try it. But what it's going to do is going to increase your confidence because you're seeing yourself, actively, completing the goal. You actively are developing this better relationship with yourself. You're feeling good about yourself, and you checking in with yourself. But you also it's an opportunity to check in with God. Okay, for those who believe in God like I do, it's an opportunity to check in with God too. So you definitely want to have that time to check in with God, and every time you give up one or more things, it's an invitation for to have that deeper relationship with God. Okay, now. hmm Now we're gonna talk about weight management, and if food is one of the things that you enjoy, and you want to get rid of that stubborn belly fat that don't go away, Transformers, because like I told you, after age 35, I start seeing my abs just fade away. So this is why fasting is really a huge part of my life. And bloating is very painful and uncomfortable. I get bloating quite a bit, especially after eating meals and drinking. It's yeah, let me get a donut or something. That's it for me. I'm going to have jelly belly for, for about a week, and I'm not going to enjoy it. And you get a lot of fat gain in strange places too. For like men, in the chest, so you find yourself not having that perfect chest that like you once had when you were younger. For you ladies, you get it in the belly. I talked about the belly. Maybe there's other places you get it, and then the joints start to ache and are painful because you're putting on this extra weight. Transformers, I get it totally. Especially when you are trying to make it happen in the world out there. So if you have all of that, and you got the dry, flaky, and no skin, I want to invite you to this link where you can develop uh, more ways to lose weight, develop a better way to create foods that would not store the fat. Okay, I want you to try this link that I got, and it's going to give you some incredible information, and it's also going to give you the truth about sugars and all that good stuff, and along with that, at, once you scroll all the way to the bottom of the link that displays this website, it's going to give you what I am starting to dig into, the fat burning machine. Okay, the fat burning kitchen recipe book. It's a new book that's going to give you the secret to making the calorie counting obsolete. You're going to enjoy this, and when you do, you're going to find yourself more energetic, more focused, able to transform out of those stuck feelings, out of that depressed feelings that that you've been fighting in all of that. Go check it out right now. The book is totally free, and and then of course, yeah, I want to know what you think about it. Come back and let me know what you think about it. It is a best-selling book. Already been over 200,000 readers that has had it shipped to your door. Why not be one of them, my Transformers? Okay, so let's get back to our content. hmm As I drink more tea, weight management. Since we on the topic of weight management, let's talk about what fasting does for you in weight management. We struggle with weight management so crazy, right? And like especially as we get older. So fasting, what it would do, it will allow you to get a. I talked about this earlier. It would help you to be more attentive to what you put into your body. It will give you that detox you need to, because like I said, once you start to have that hunger come on, and you having prolonged hunger, your body starts like to break down all of that stuff that might have been sitting inside of you. So this is a real good way to use it as a tool to manage your weight, and and adjacent with like working out and 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 getting your routine exercise in. Okay, so fasting, but Can you do this? Would it work with other activities? Mm, I would say that the amount of focus, the amount of uh, deep reflection that fasting does, like when you give up other things, like so if it's just not food giving up and you're giving up other things, I would dare challenge that. Like you might have a deeper insight on, like the fact that, like, okay, I I have to like do something, about managing my weight. I have to be a little bit more conscious about, the type of things that I'm eating, because it may not be beneficial for the type of weight that I've been carrying around, and I just want to feel better. I just want to feel better. I want to look better. You spend that extra time with yourself. You get that extra hour, whatever it is that you you are like trading, for what you're giving away. So you trade an extra time for yourself uh, by giving away something. All right. So that extra time can be properly used to, like, hey, maybe think to yourself, like, well, maybe I do want to drop some weight. Maybe I want to look a little bit better. Maybe there's something I want to do with my weight. Maybe you might just step on the scale because, like, you try to distract yourself, and then you notice it, like how much you weigh, and then you start thinking to yourself, like, okay, let me jot down some ideas. Yeah, because, like, ultimately that's what you should do, because you're gonna have the energy, which brings me to my next thing. Energy is so important. Okay. And one thing we know is when you got so much things on your plate, so much things that, like, you try to indulge in, you get overloaded. And when you're overloaded, you crashing. You crashing. You just pooped out. You already took away a lot of the hours in the day. There's so many hours in the day. There's so many minutes, so many seconds, and every one of them counts. And you have to be mindful of this. At some point, you have to, like, stop and say, okay, what can I remove from my day that can buy me back some extra time, and that can ultimately give me some extra energy, because just the whole idea of, like, I'm not going to I'm not going to, like, reply back to text messages right away. I'm going to, like, spend an entire day not replying back to every text message. That's just for example. And just think about, like, just that lift that it has on you, on your spirit, on your mind, when you consciously put that into action. It's a lift, and you're able to, gain some extra energy, and find yourself being able to redirect that energy towards something that, like, maybe you couldn't redirect it towards before, or you just keep the energy, and then is it's kind of carried over into the next day. Energy is so important, man. I can't tell you how much energy is important. Mhm. And we almost closing off, because there's two more important points about the benefits of fasting. It brings me to growth as a person. You want people who out there trying to grow as a person, and just want to experience some spiritual growth within themselves, and they have different goals that they want to hit, and maybe they don't have any goals, but like, where can you start? The best way to start is by fasting. If you fast, what that would do, it would definitely help mature you, because, like, there's so much maturity that comes with, like, being a person who fasts. You definitely have to be serious in the midst of fasting. If you can't do nothing but be serious. You can't do nothing but be mature about it. There's no immaturity. There's no room for immaturity. So if you want to start walking away from immaturity and be more mature, be more responsible, why not take the steps towards, like, fasting? giving up something that you love or need, and for one day, and seeing how much you grow just in that one day. Okay, because you can measure it. It may not seem like you can measure it, but you can definitely measure, like, how you were before versus how you are right after getting, going through the whole process and the whole ringer of fasting. So growth as a person is so important, and I know so many of you out there want to continue to strive towards better for yourself, and be the best possible version of yourself. You might find yourself giving up something, and you may not want to go back to it again. Maybe it's a bad habit that you really want to kick, but you don't want to just go cold turkey. But maybe going cold turkey for just a day would be just enough to give you an extra thought, or the empowerment to look back at it and say, you know what, this ain't as bad as what I think it is. I can actually do this. I can actually do this, and you can transform it. I believe in you. When I look at uh, just my growth where I'm at, and having to give up gambling, it was very hard for me. It was that's and this is more of an extreme addiction and habit. But gambling was like, just my outlet. Gambling was like, something that, like, I definitely ran to whenever I didn't feel good, or when the day was just like tough, and like, and I wanted to. I feel like I was rewarding myself by going and playing my favorite game of blackjack, and or on the roulette table, and it just wasn't doing anything for me, because I became a bad gambler and started losing money, not able to pay rent, and I became depressed, became suicidal, and you know, it came to a point where I say, you know what? Let me just fast. Let me just not do it for a week and see what happens. And when I made that decision, a week became 2 weeks, 2 weeks became three became four, and before you know it, it developed into a habit. So let's not, like, look at fasting as though it's just, a one-time event, because maybe there's something you really really want to give up. Maybe you do have a problem with eating, and maybe your eating has become uncontrollable, and you want to see yourself, just become just become the best version of yourself, and you don't want to be this greedy person, because maybe some of this stuff is like creeping into other areas of your life, like your relationships, and especially with your business. Okay, or your professional life, school life, whatever you're doing. hmm Okay, so, and last benefit of it, just a better, healthier personal relationship with yourself, with God, with the universe, with nature. Just not being distracted. When we are less distracted, we are just more happy, healthier people. We are able to just see the beauty in all things when we aren't as distracted, when we aren't as plugged into this matrix, when we aren't being pulled from left to right, when we aren't, like, powered by something as simple as food, or something as simple as social media, when we ain't, like tooken uh, for uh, for our brains, and for our precious energy because of video games, or anything, whatever is holding us back, whatever our stumbling block is. We all have stumbling blocks, and and it's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to have a stumbling block. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't make you a dirty person. It doesn't make you a less person, a vulgar, a nobility. It's just, all it means is that you need to know how to be more moderate in some of these vices that you have. And when you learn and practice more moderation, and you start taking an observer role in your life, and you be able to suck in all of the organic and holistic things that this life has to provide, that God has given you, and just in being able to enjoy your own company without some of these appendages, some of these material things that just don't matter. Okay, I mean, food, it says it keeps us alive, but we can live without it for up to 3 weeks, sometimes even longer. All right, and we can live on water. We can enjoy a cup of tea, and yeah, and Sen Guru, he suggests that you have a cup of tea or coffee with your meal, and even these smaller meals. Like he says that, like, if like most yogis believe that if you're not pooping 2 hours after, or if it's not coming out of you 2 hours after, you probably shouldn't be, you probably shouldn't have it, or you probably not choking it down with the proper liquid. So something to consider. We want to love ourselves. We want to keep transforming, um, and being the best version of ourselves. We don't want to find ourselves stagnant and stuck, or caught up in places where uh, where we just not feeling our best. This is very crucial to our mental health. Okay, um, our mental health is means a lot, and that we're all going through a lot of things, and some of the things that we are going through, it's not necessarily someone else. It may be something that we like or enjoy, that we are just doing doing it and participating to the extreme, and with all the extreme things, comes extreme consequences. And so we have to roll back those consequences, and start taking inventory and see what we can do to improve. That's all I got for you today. I thank you for joining me on the Transform You Live show. It's very good to be, back with you guys and communicate with you guys, giving you all this great information, all this great knowledge and tools to help you along the way. Make sure you join us again on Wednesday. Check out some of the short clips on YouTube. There's going to be a lot of short clips going up almost daily. Don't forget our Instagram. Our Instagram is at Transform You Live. Has transformed the letter U live show. Transform You Live show. Okay. And my personal Instagram is Marcus Hart underscore official. That's where you can find me at too. And I'm also on Facebook, Marcus Hart official. It's my Facebook page if you want to like and follow me there. As from time to time I chime in there. I have a good time with you guys there as well. I want to hear from you guys. I love hearing from you guys. You guys, are incredible. I get your emails all the time, and like, man, I like to post them on my personal IG page and share them with the rest of the fans. Or if like, make sure you let me know in the email that you don't want me to repost. That's okay too. But at the end of the day, I just love you guys for supporting me. I really appreciate it so much. We're gonna be more consistent. Every Wednesday is going to be a new episode rolling it out. Come hell or high water. So until next time, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, leave a review. Many blessings, peace, and lots of love. We're done for the day.